Hello. In this example, we have to simplify square root of x to the 9th, y to the 11th, z to the 3rd. The goal is to rewrite this radical as two radicals. One is a perfect square times whatever's left. We just need to remember that perfect square has exponent or the power divisible by 2. For example, the first term in this expression is x to the 9th. We cannot divide 9 by 2 evenly, but we can rewrite x as a product of two x variables, and the highest number of factors in x to the 9 that can be divided by 2 is 8 times 1 more x to the 8 times x to the first will give us x to the 9 back, and we can divide 8 by 2 nicely. So let's break this radical as a square root for perfect squares times square root for leftovers, and in the left radical we will put x to the 8th, and on the right we will put 1 factor of x that was left over. The next variable is y to the 11. We cannot divide 11 by 2 evenly, so let's rewrite y to the 11 as 2 bases of y and break down the exponent into 10 factors of y times 1 more factor of y. Altogether we have 11 factors of y, and on this step we can see that 10 is very easily divided by 2 evenly. So we can go back to our radical and put y to the 10th into the left radical times 1 more factor of y in the right radical, and the last variable we have is z to the 3. This is an odd power, so obviously we cannot divide it by 2. And 1 less is an even power, so we can rewrite z to the 3rd as z to the 2nd times 1 more z. So let's put it inside of our separated radicals. On the left we have z to the 2nd, and on the right we have leftover of z. So now we have square root of x to the 8th times y to the 10th times z to the 2nd times square root of x, y, z. The easiest way to simplify the perfect square radical is to take the bases to the powers. We have x to the 8th, y to the 10, z to the 2nd times the leftover x, y, z, and divide the perfect square powers by 2. So we have x to the 8 out of 2, y to the 10 out of 2, and z to the 2 out of 2. This is literally taking the square root, dividing the exponent by 2, and we get x to the 8 divided by 2 is 4, y to the power of 10 divided by 2, so 5, z to the power of 2 divided by 2, which is canceling into 1, so z to the first power, or just z, times square root of x, y, z. X to the 4th, y to the 5th, z times square root of x, y, z is our solution. That's all.